let the attack dog off the leash and direct it. So there's much greater need for this kind of aggressive action, and there's a greater synergy between the U.S. agenda, the Bush agenda, and the proponents of a greater Israel, who want to see Israel as a major sub-regional power and, you know, control all of what is Palestine and so on. Especially, you know, these settlers, people like this, and the right wing in Israel. And there's also a religious dimension, because for these Christian fundamentalists, Israel is a key element of the second coming. The second coming won't happen until Israel regains its place over, you know, its the lands that were supposedly the lands of David and all this. And so they're anti-Semites. They think Jews killed Christ, and they believe when Armageddon comes, if the Jews don't convert, they're going to be incinerated along with all the other non-believers. But for right now, they're the most ardent supporters of Israel. So this is, you know, this is an important component of this whole thing. But one thing that I want to talk about is, you know, and I think people have to face what Israel represents and what it's doing. And I want to talk about this in two ways, the wrong way to understand this and the correct way. Israel is not directing the U.S. imperialists. There's an argument that goes on about the Jewish lobby or the Zionist lobby controlling things. And it's complicated because some of this is wrong political analysis. But it borders on anti-Semitism and harkens to things that are too common now of the Jews control the world. I gave a talk in New York, and a guy asked me about, hey, do you know what the role of this bank group in England? I hadn't heard of it, and I, you know, said, no, I don't know them. I think it's the whole capitalist system in the U.S. mainly, not Britain. So afterward, he comes up and starts talking. It's clear the guy, you know, I don't know if this is out of ignorance or prejudice or what. He starts talking about the 12 bankers who can, you know, set the price of currency every day. This goes back again to the czars, supported by U.S. imperialism and all the imperialists, and the protocols of the elders of Zion, which were, you know, an invention of the czarist secret police aimed at fomenting anti-Semitism. And guess who's spouting this shit now? Our good friend Mel Gibson, in a drunken rage. Yeah. Mel Gibson, Mad Max. Yeah. You know, and look, and he's saying, and he said the Jew, and you know, it's interesting. I want somebody to find out everything he said. All they're saying is, he asked the officer if the officer was a Jew. And then he said the Jews are responsible for all the wars in the world today. And look, you know, let's hear what else he said. He went on probably for 15 minutes. Let's hear it all. And then let's hear what he's got about his hypocritical apology. This is core to his whole Christian fundamentalist belief, as anybody who saw Passion of the Christ knows. This isn't something he said on the spur of the moment. This is what he's thought his whole life. Anyway, so this stuff blends into this, you know, anti-Semitic stuff. And you know, one of the reasons this Israeli lobby, think of the logic of the, you know, Israel is influencing the U.S. to do all these bad things. Think of the logic. If the Israelis weren't tricking Bush and Cheney, they wouldn't be doing all these bad things. Hey, guess what? This country was founded on genocide and slavery. Do you think the ruling class of this country needs Jews to tell them how to commit mass murder? wake up and realize where you're living right now and how it got to be the global power that it did. You know, and it's complete reformism and blindness. It's like, oh, if only it wasn't for this.